Now, a couple of things that I want to point out here is the best counterattack strategy. So if everybody here admits it's just a matter of time before you are breached, how do you deal with that breach? And how do you fend off as many breaches as possible, especially the kind that make you a newspaper headline? The first is having a cybersecurity program. And this is education and awareness. It's having policies and procedures. It's having an approach to protecting your most sensitive and critical assets. One of the mistakes I think a lot of organizations make is you think you have to protect it all. So for example, think about your email account, right? So you have one email from a friend that is a rather funny Dilbert joke, right? Maybe it's a zits joke, but it's very funny and it totally made your day. And then you have another email that's talking about a future merger and acquisition, or a patient, or insurance information, or something sensitive and confidential. Both of those emails are protected exactly the same. Should they be? It's two totally different types of digital assets. And so, for example, one best practice we're seeing is, as it relates to your most sensitive and confidential digital assets, we're actually seeing where some companies actually have a domain name and a set of email addresses that are not public-facing. So is that still hackable? Yeah, you bet it is. Everything's hackable. But it's not as obvious to the bad guys. I can, using tools, within 15 minutes, find out all the email addresses of all the senior staff at a company, the board members, the IP addresses of all the servers, whether or not the servers are shared with other servers, so then I get a feeling for if you own your own infrastructure or if you're on a vendor's infrastructure. And that's in less than 15 minutes. So if it's your most sensitive, private, and confidential data, you might want to name the domain something that has nothing to do with your public-facing company name. There's just these different creative and innovative strategies that you can be using. The other thing is, know why you are a target. Maybe you're not the direct target. Maybe you're a heating and chilling vendor in Pittsburgh in October of last year. That heating and chilling vendor in Pittsburgh, October of last year, was used to infect Target's point of sale. So they were attacked and probably thinking, I'm not a target. So understand why you're a target and what data is a target. And then messaging to your employees, your vendors, and most importantly, whoever is your end customer. Telling them things, for example, like most banks will tell you, we will never send you an email where you click on a link and give me your social security number, date of birth, mother's maiden name, and your login credentials. We would never do that. Start telling your customers, be a thought leader for them, tell them, have a cyber corner in your customer newsletter. So you have the things about wash your hands so you don't get the flu. Have a cyber corner that tells them how to protect their medical identity. You know, one of the things they could do that would be a huge benefit is the email they use with their relationship with you, don't use that on Facebook. I'm just saying, right? That healthcare relationship is so personal and confidential. Don't use the email address that you've given to everybody else. Have one that you only use for healthcare. That can be a tip that you give to your customers. And then tech is definitely important, but I say it's all about, a lot of it is very old school. It's about people and just following basic principles.